Welcome to High School Academic Derby, brought to you by the Onslow County Schools. Our scorekeeper for all of our matches today is Wanda Costner. In Game 1, Southwest plays the Early College team. We'll meet our coaches and their players now, starting with the Early College team, coached by Deborah Kellum. Her players are
Alyssa Sabella, freshman.
Kara James, freshman.
Colin Davis, freshman.
Jesse Johnson, freshman.
The Southwest coaches are Julie Pollock and Krista Watts, and their players are
Kaylee Silence, sophomore.
Rachel Schoes, junior.
Natani Romo, sophomore.
Marla Starling, freshman.
Your first toss-up deals with fiction. When the 1937 radio drama The Shadow premiered on the Mutual Broadcasting System with its famous line, "Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men?" which mysterious teller of tales was the voice that engaged the listeners? He later created a memorable broadcast of War of the Worlds. Orson Welles. Chemistry. Among chemistry compounds, which special class of cyclic unsaturated hydrocarbons contains the compound benzene? That would be the aromatic hydrocarbons. Religion. In an official 2016 letter to Vatican officials, Pope Francis has opened this activity, once reserved for males, to women on March 26th, Holy Thursday. Identify this symbolic act. The washing of feet. Diseases. Caused by the Rickettsia bacteria, this disease is transmitted to humans via external parasites such as lice, fleas, and ticks. Identify this disease characterized by fever, chills, headache, with ensuing rash and mental aberrations. It can be fatal if left untreated and was the culprit in the death of Anne Frank. Marla.
Lyme disease.
Incorrect. Early College. It's typhus. Your next toss-up deals with South America. Among South American nations, for many years, Spanish was the predominant language spoken by the country's citizens. Which Romance language, although only declared the official language by Brazil, has now surpassed Spanish by a small margin among speakers? Alyssa.
Portuguese.
Correct. For your bonus, identify each of the following related to Latin America. Number 1, the predominant faith of the Latin American countries. Number 2, the name of the largest lake by surface area found on the continent. Number 3, name the island chain that separates the Atlantic Ocean from the Caribbean Sea. And number 4, name the two nations that share the Altiplano, the region where the Andes are at their widest. Kara.
For number 1, we have Catholic, and for number 3, we have the Bahamas.
Catholic is correct for 2 points. 2, 3, or 4, Southwest.
For number 3, we have the Virgin Islands.
Number 2 is Lake Maracaibo. Number 3, the West Indies. Number 4, the two countries were Bolivia and Peru. Your next toss-up deals with logic. For this statement, if I make a 95 on my chemistry test, my new average will be an A. What is the inverse of this statement? For this statement, if I make a 95 on my chemistry test, my new average will be an A. What is the inverse of this statement? Natani?
My average will be an A if I get a 95.
Incorrect. Colin?
In order to get an A, I need a 95.
Now you have to add the word not. If I do not make a 95 on my chemistry test, my new average will not be an A. Okay. Our next toss-up, if I can get to it here, is from recent history. In 2011, this American protest eventually spread worldwide to protest social and economic inequality, greed, and corruption. Identify this movement that began in New York's Zuccotti Park in the financial district of the city. It's called Occupy Wall Street. Music. This type of orchestral piece is found at the beginning of an opera, suite, play, oratorio, or other extended composition. Kaylee.
An overture.
Overture is correct. For your bonus, identify the composer of each of the following works. The first letter of each composer's last name is provided. Number 1, the work is Peter and the Wolf, and the letter is P. Remember, that's the first letter of the composer's last name. Number 2, the work, A Midsummer Night's Dream, the letter is M. Number 3, The Flight of the Bumblebee, the letter is R. And number 4, the work is the Peer Gynt Suite, now the letter is G. Natani.
For number 2, we have Mozart.
That's not correct. Any of the 4 early college? Number 1 is Prokofiev. Number 2, Mendelssohn. Number 3, Rimsky-Korsakov. Number 4, Grieg. Music again. In musical direction, which language is used to communicate most tempo markings? Colin.
Italian.
Correct. For your bonus, identify each of the following terms or ideas that are associated with music. Number 1, the name for the study of music as a field of knowledge with history and theory as the emphasis. Number 2, name the 2 basic dynamic indicators in music. Number 3, give the musical synonym for tone color. Number 4, what is the number of letters used to represent the various pitch classes within the English-speaking and Dutch-speaking worlds? Kara.
For number 2, we have forte and piano, and for 4, we have Z.
How many?
Which one, sir?
For number 4.
4, we have 2.
Okay. Number 2 is correct for 2 points, 1, 3, or 4, Southwest. Do you have any answers?
For number 1, we have music theory. And number 3, we have intonation.
Number 1 is musicology. Number 3, timbre. Number 4, the number is 7. Vocabulary. In the United States, by what title is a person known who is employed by and acts for an organized interest group or corporation to try to influence policy decisions and positions in the executive and legislative branches? It's called a lobbyist. And that's the end of round 1. We'll come back with our score in round 2 right after this.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Tad's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
After the first round, the score is the Early College team 8, Southwest 2. Let's meet some new players for both teams, and we'll start with the Early College.
Cameron Davis, freshman.
Keyshawn Henry, freshman.
And for Southwest,
Evan Morley, junior.
Jakari Cole, junior.
Kalijah Moore, senior.
Zachary Jarman, junior.
toss-up number 1 in this round deals with biology. A hormone produced by the pineal or pineal gland, P-I-N-E-A-L, a hormone produced by the pineal gland functions in the development of the reproductive cycle. What is this hormone that regulates our circadian cycles? It's called melatonin. Your next toss-up deals with laws. When South Dakota ratified it on January 23, 1964, it went into effect, thereby abolishing poll taxes. What amendment to the U.S. Constitution was this? Kara?
The 19th Amendment.
Incorrect. Southwest? Kalijah?
The 9th Amendment.
The 24th. Music. This type of music is sung without instrumental accompaniment. Only the voice of the singer is heard. Kara?
Acapella.
Correct. For your bonus, many people say they hate operas. Still, most of them are familiar with the following operas. Name the composer for each of the following works. Number 1, The Marriage of Figaro. Number 2, The Flying Dutchman. Number 3, Fidelio. Number 4, The Magic Flute. Keyshawn?
We have none.
No answers? Southwest? None? Okay, for The Marriage of Figaro, the composer is Mozart. For The Flying Dutchman, it's Richard Wagner. For Fidelio, it's Beethoven, and for the Magic Flute, it is Mozart. Grammar. Give the reciprocal pronoun found in the following sentence. Jim and John gave each other a lot of support. Colon.
Each other.
Correct. For your bonus, what part of speech is each of the following words? Number 1, plinth, P-L-I-N-T-H. Number 2, bungle. Number 3, phatic, spelled P-H-A-T-I-C. And number 4, presently. Keyshawn.
For number 1, we have verb. For number 2, we have adjective. For number 3, we have adjective. And then for number 4, we have adverb.
3 and 4 correct for 4 points. 1 or 2, Southwest?
For number 1, we have noun, and for number 2, we have noun.
Both of those are correct as well. Bungle can be either a verb or a noun, by the way. You have a math toss-up now. I'll read it twice for you. What is the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix in which A sub 1 is -3, A sub 2 is 1, B sub 1 is 2, and b sub 2 is 4. What is the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix in which a sub 1 is negative 3, a sub 2 is 1, b sub 1 is 2, b sub 2 is 4? The answer is negative 14. Earth science. With what metal is galvanized iron most commonly coated? Zachary.
Steel.
Incorrect. Early college. Kara.
Copper.
Zinc. Geography. What country's flag consists of 3 horizontal stripes that are green, white, and red? Kalijah.
Italy.
Right. For your bonus, tell me in which of the following, I'm going to give you the name of a river or some other geographical feature, and you tell me the state in which it's found. Number 1, the Atchafalaya River. Number 2, the Petrified Forest. Number 3, Spring Mountains. Number 4, Bryce Canyon. Okay, Kalijah.
For number 2, we have Tennessee. For number 3, we have Colorado. And for 4, we have Nevada.
None of those are correct. Early college.
For number 1, we have Nevada. For number 2, we have California. For number 3, we have Montana. And for number 4, we have North Dakota.
Number 1 is Louisiana. Number 2, Arizona. Number 3, Nevada. And number 4, Utah. Literature toss-up. The novel Light in August, set in Yoknapatawpha County, was written by what American author? William Faulkner. And that's the end of our second round. We'll come back with a score and the lightning round in just a moment.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Our score is Early College 16, Southwest 8. We have a new player to meet for Southwest.
April Gower, junior.
Sullivan Brown, freshman.
Mackenzie Bowles, freshman.
Okay, players, I'm going to give you the name of a state capital. You tell me the name of the state that goes with that capital. Ready? Olympia. Kalijah.
Washington.
Correct. Pierre. Kalijah.
South Dakota.
That's right. Concord. April.
Connecticut.
Say it again.
Connecticut.
Incorrect. Lincoln. Kalijah.
Nebraska.
Correct. Dover. April.
Delaware.
Right. Montgomery. April.
Alabama.
That's correct. Austin. Kalijah.
Texas.
Correct. Lansing. Mackenzie.
Michigan.
Right. Charleston. Kalijah.
South Carolina.
Incorrect. Des Moines. Alyssa.
Idaho.
Incorrect. Cheyenne. Sullivan.
Wyoming.
That's right. Providence. Mackenzie.
Rhode Island.
That's correct. Columbia. Mackenzie.
South Carolina.
Correct. Phoenix. Sullivan.
Arizona.
That's right. Frankfurt. Kalijah.
Kentucky.
Correct. Juneau. April.
Alaska.
That's right. Columbus, excuse me. Mackenzie.
Ohio.
That's right. St. Paul. Mackenzie.
Wisconsin.
Incorrect. Carson City. Mackenzie.
Nevada.
Correct. And Madison. Okay. Ones we did not answer correctly. The capital of New Hampshire is Concord. Charleston is the capital of West Virginia. Des Moines is the capital of Iowa. St. Paul for Minnesota. And Madison for Wisconsin. We'll add in our lightning round points. Come back with the result right after this.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
The final score today is Southwest 40, Early College 22. Please stay with us because our Early College team returns in just a moment to play Richlands.
Miss Nicole Martin, our 2017-18 Onslow County Schools Teacher of the Year. Creative thinker, marvelous teacher, advocate for public education and students, and superhero, Miss Nicole Martin.
Onslow County has just been is just the greatest district that anyone could ever ask to work for, and really, I know we have cameras in here, but you really have to turn it on these students. I mean, I couldn't do anything that I do if it wasn't for my students. My honors class is in here right now. They were working really hard, and some of my student leaders are in here. They work so hard to help make everything possible and to have a supportive principal and a supportive district that really enables us to do everything that we do here in Onslow County.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back to High School Academic Derby. Match number 2 today pits Richlands against the early college team. Let's meet our coaches and players. We'll start with Richlands, coached by Justine Smith. Her players are
Joshua Larimore, sophomore.
Nathan Jilton, senior.
Alexander Schumann, junior.
Dominic Andrus, junior.
The early college team is coached by Deborah Kellerman. Her players for this round will be
Alyssa Sabella, freshman.
Kara James, freshman.
Jesse Johnson, freshman.
Colin Davis, freshman.
Our first toss-up deals with sports. Denny Hamlin beat him by 11 1/1000ths of a second. Who came in second in the 2016 Daytona 500? Martin Truex Jr. Now let's see how quickly you can multiply. This is a math question. I'll read it twice for you. Find the area of a parallelogram-shaped field with a base measuring 637 feet and a height of 327 feet. Find the area of a parallelogram-shaped field with a base measuring 637 feet and a height of 327 feet. Pretty big number. It's hard to get it in the allotted time. It's 208,299 square feet. Your next toss-up deals with acronyms. Everyone's familiar with NATO. What is SEATO? S-E-A-T-O. Dominic.
Central European Trade Organization.
Incorrect. Early college. The Southeast Asia Treaty Organization. Foreign phrases. Senor Gomez rented a hotel room. He was told that the room was in el segundo piso. According to this statement, where was Senor Gomez's room? On the second floor. Next toss-up deals with mythology. Identify the Roman god of sleep. Alyssa.
Hypnos.
Hypnos is correct. For your bonus, identify these people or groups that are part of the music industry but don't necessarily perform. Number 1, the man or woman who plays records on the radio. Number 2, an organized music idol admiration society. Number 3, the people in these societies who admire the musicians. Number 4, the man or woman who hosts music videos on television. Jesse.
For 1 we have DJs, and for 3 we have fans.
Those are both correct for 4 points. 2 or 4, Richlands?
For 2, fan base, and for 4, host.
Fan base or fan club is correct for 2 points. Number 4 is a VJ or video jockey. Chemistry. These molecules are linked together by peptide bonds. They build proteins. 2 of these make a dipeptide. What are they? Dominic.
Amino acid.
Right. for your bonus. Identify the biological class of each of the following animals. Number 1, spiders. Number 2, turtles. Number 3, dogs. Number 4, birds. Nathan.
For 1, we have arachnid, nothing for 2, 3, canine, and 4, avian.
1 and 4 correct for 4 points. Early college, 2 or 3. Anything? Turtles, reptilia, dogs, mammalia. American literature. This short story by Poe was published in his Tales of the Grotesque and Arabesque. The story is about a passenger on a ship who is eventually drowned by the phantom ship sinking in a whirlpool. What is the name of this story? Not one of his better known ones. It's called Manuscript Found in a Bottle. Math toss up. Again, I'll read it twice for you. Assume positive roots and simplify by factoring the following. The square root of 160. Assume positive roots. Simplify by factoring the following. The square root of 160. The answer is 4 times the square root of 10. Next toss-up deals with American jurisprudence. What judge presided over the O.J. Simpson murder trial? Lance Ito. That's the end of round 1. We'll come back with our score in round 2 in just a moment.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
After 1 round, the score is Richlands 8, Early College 6. And let's meet some new players for both groups. We'll start with Richlands.
JT Sandlin, sophomore.
Tyler Martin, sophomore.
Riley Stone, freshman.
And for Early College?
Keyshawn Henry, freshman. Cameron Davis, freshman.
Players, toss-up number 1 is from math, and I'll read it twice. Find the equation of the line through the points -1, -1, and -1, 2. Find the equation of the line through the points -1, -1, and -1, 2. JT.
equals -1.
Incorrect. Early college? Keyshawn.
Y equals -1x.
It's x equals -1. Your next toss-up is from physics. This unit of length is defined as 10 to the -10th power meters. Name it. Tyler.
Nanometer.
Incorrect. Early college? It's called an angstrom. This next toss-up comes from art. This term is applied to artists who develop experimental methods or new concepts in the arts. Give this term which begins with the letter A. Keyshawn.
Abstract.
Incorrect. Richlands? Avant-garde is the term we're looking for. Astronomy. What is a cloud in outer space called when it is composed of dust and gas? Jesse.
Nebula.
That's correct. For your bonus, identify these scientific terms, all of which start with the letter M. Number 1, the nutrient agar is where microorganisms are grown for experimentation. Number 2, this is the ripening of fruit and the stage of development when the chromosomes go from diploid to the haploid number. Number 3, this is a metamorphic rock containing CaCO3 from altered limestone. Number 4, this is one of the classes of vertebrates. Cameron.
For number 2, we have meiosis, and for number 3, we have meteorite.
That's not correct. Richlands?
Nothing for 1, 2, or 3, but 4 we have mammal.
Mammal is correct. Number 1 is a medium. Number 2, maturation. Number 3, marble. U.S. history. What nickname was used to refer to the judges appointed by President John Adams? JT.
Midnight Judges.
The Midnight Judges is correct. For your bonus, in what year did each of the following events occur? Number 1, the U.S. entered World War II. Number 2, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. Number 3, the U.S. entered World War I. Number 4, the first man landed on the moon. Nathan.
For number 1, we have 1942. For number 2, we have 1967. Number 3, 1914. And for number 4, we have 1969.
Number 4 is correct for 2 points. Early college, 1, 2, or 3?
We have nothing.
You're just a little off on the first 2. Number 1 is 1941. Number 2 is 1968. Number 3 was 1917. World history. He is credited with constructing the Hanging Gardens of Babylon and the Ishtar Gate into the inner city. Which Babylonian king was the son of Nabopolassar? Tyler.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar is correct. For your bonus, answer these questions relating to the Civil War or to a period of any country's civil war. Number 1, this term means to break away from and leave the country to which you belong. What did many southern states do in the middle of the 1800s? Number 2, after the South separated from the North, what was its official name? Number 3, who was the South's leader? Number 4, what was the period following the Civil War called? Nathan.
For number 1, we have secede. For 2, the Confederates. 3, Robert E. Lee. And 4, Reconstruction.
1 and 4 correct for 4 points. 2 or 3, early college.
For number 2, we have Confederate States of America, and for number 3, we have Jefferson Davis.
Those are both correct for 4 points. Next toss-up deals with anatomy. On which side of the heart is the tricuspid valve located? Tyler.
Left.
Incorrect. Cameron.
The right.
The right. For your bonus, identify each of the following medical conditions which would require first aid. Number 1, more severe than heat exhaustion. This condition includes hot red skin, a faint rapid pulse, no signs of perspiration, and loss of consciousness. Number 2, choking, drowning, and gas poisoning would all cause what deadly inability to take air into the lungs. Number 3, diabetes, stroke, or severe brain injury can cause this deep state of unconsciousness. Number 4, you should never rub the area in which this condition resulting from frozen skin occurs.
Number 1, we have hyperthermia. For number 3, we have coma. And for number 4, we have frostbite.
3 and 4 correct for 4 points. 1 or 2, Rich Lands?
For 1, we have heat stroke, and nothing for 2.
Heat stroke is correct for number 1. Number 2 is asphyxiation. That's the end of round 2. We'll come back with a lightning round in just a moment.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
After 2 rounds, the score is Richlands 22, Early College 18. And we have a new player to meet for the Richlands team.
Mason Tone, Jr.
In the lightning round today, all answers will begin with the letter W. Number 1, the only state named for a president. Tyler.
Washington.
Correct. What meteorologists predict? Tyler.
Weather.
That's right. Ancient English castle which is the Queen's country home. The world's largest chain store. Keyshawn.
Walmart.
Correct. The period between December 21st and March 21st. Alyssa.
Winter.
That's right. Merlin, Gandalf the Grey, and Albus Dumbledore. Mason.
Wizards.
That's right. Capital of the Canadian province of Manitoba. First famous of African American poet known as the Sable Muse. A covering for the head made of real or artificial hair. Dominic.
Wig.
Correct. Canis lupus, a powerful carnivore. Tyler.
I'm sorry.
Incorrect. American architect who designed Falling Water House and the original Guggenheim Museum. 28th President of the United States who served during World War I? Dominic.
Wilson.
Correct. Holocaust survivor and Nobel Prize winner who wrote Night? Keyshawn.
Elie Wiesel.
Correct. Inventor of the cotton gin? Tyler.
Eli Whitney.
Right. Name shared by both English and American political parties of the past whose letters supposedly stand for "We hope in God." Tyler.
Whigs.
Correct. State whose capital is Charleston. British general and duke who defeated Napoleon at Waterloo. Mason.
Wellington.
Correct. Energy that travels in rhythmical motions. Kara.
Watts.
Incorrect. Other name for the poisonous snake called a cottonmouth. Nathan.
Water moccasin.
Correct. Stinging insects banded black. Mason.
Wasp.
That's right. Okay, the only ones we didn't get. Windsor is the ancient English castle that's the Queen's country home. Winnipeg is the capital of Manitoba. Phyllis Wheatley was the first famous African-American poet. Frank Lloyd Wright designed Falling Water. And West Virginia is the capital of Charleston. And waves are energy that travels in rhythmical motion. We'll add in these points and come back with a final score right after this.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Today's final score is Richlands 44, Early College 26. Please stay with us for our last match of the day and of the season, which will be between Southwest and White Oak.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch. Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Great big surprise. I think you might have figured it out. There's a special person here at Swansboro Middle School that this morning is being named the Onslow County Schools Assistant Principal of the Year. Let's hear it for Mr. Mabry.
We're so proud of you, and really I have the favor of doing one of the best things here today is present you a check for $750 for this honor to you and your family, and congratulations. And we know you have great expectations and dreams to go forward, and we're looking forward to your path. Thank you. So congratulations again.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back to High School Academic Derby, brought to you by the Onslow County Schools. And our final match today, Southwest takes on White Oak. Let's meet the coaches and players. We'll start with the White Oak team. They are coached by Ashley Baker, and her players are
RJ Walsh, senior.
Ina Driscoll, senior.
Jael Encarnacion, junior.
Juliana Ortiz, sophomore.
coaches of Southwest are Krista Watts and Julie Pollock. Their players for this round will be
Kaylee Silence, sophomore.
Sullivan Brown, freshman.
Zachary Jarman, junior.
Latani Patelli, sophomore.
Toss-up number one deals with general knowledge. We've all eaten M&M candies. Tell me what either of the two letters stand for. Jael?
Milk chocolate.
Incorrect. Southwest? The names of the two inventors, Mars and Murray. Your next toss-up, math, and I'll read it twice for you. If 1 minus 3g divided by 5, that's 1 minus 3g all over 5, equals 5 minus g, then what is the value of g? If 1 minus 3g all over 5 equals 5 minus g, what is the value of g? RJ? -12. Incorrect. Southwest. Zachary?
12.
12 is correct. For your bonus, I will give you the measurements of two angles of a triangle. You give me the measurement of the third angle. Number 1, 71 degrees, 14 degrees. Number 2, 90 degrees, 27 degrees. Number 3, 88 degrees, 65 degrees. Number 4, 17 degrees, 49 degrees. Zachary?
For number 1, we have 95, and number 3, we have 17.
Number 1 is correct for 2 points, 2, 3, or 4. White Oak?
For number 2, we have 63.
That is also correct for 2 points. Number 3 was 27, and number 4, 114. Literature. In which Shakespeare play would you find these lines? How now, you secret black and midnight hags, what is it you do? Kaylee?
Macbeth.
Macbeth is correct. For your bonus, identify each of the British authors of these 20th century literary works. Number 1, Lord Jim. Number 2, Mrs. Dalloway. Number 3, Ulysses. And that would be the novel Ulysses. Number 4, Lord of the Flies. Zachary?
We have nothing.
Okay. White Oak, any of the 4?
For number 2, we have Virginia Woolf, and for number 4, we have Victor Hugo.
Virginia Woolf is correct for 2 points. Number 1 is Joseph Conrad. Number 3 is James Joyce. Number 4 is William Golding. Our next toss-up deals with animals. The vet is performing a procedure called floating on your horse. What is he doing to the horse? He is filing down its teeth. Grammar. This part of speech joins one element to another. Jael?
Conjunction.
Correct. For your bonus, consider the following sentence. She always enjoys herself. Make sure you write that down because all the questions will be based on that. She always enjoys herself. Question 1. Change the pronoun in the sentence to second person singular. Number 2. Change the pronoun in the sentence to first person plural. Number 3. Change the pronoun to third person plural. And number 4, change the pronoun to first person singular. Okay, Anna.
For number 1, we have you. For number 2, we have we. For number 3, we have they. And for number 4, we have I.
Those are all correct for 10 points. Your next toss-up deals with math. I'll read it twice for you. What degree measure corresponds with a radian measure of 2/3 pi radians? What degree measure corresponds with a radian measure of 2/3 pi radians? And the answer is 120 degrees. Next toss-up deals with flags. What color is the background of the flag of the United Nations? Natani?
Blue.
Correct. For your bonus, identify the century in which each of the following events occurred. Number 1, Thomas à Becket was named the Archbishop of Canterbury. Number 2, Geoffrey Chaucer wrote the Canterbury Tales. Number 3, Henry VIII became King of England. Number 4, the Ming Dynasty ended in China. Zachary.
For number 4, we have 13th.
That's incorrect. You want to try any of those, White Oak?
For number 1, we have 17th. For number 2, 16th. For number 3, 18th. And for number 4, 14th.
None of those are correct. The answer to number 1, Thomas à Becket, was 12th century. Geoffrey Chaucer wrote the Canterbury Tales in the 14th. Henry VIII became king in the 16th century, and the Ming Dynasty ended in the 17th century. End of round 1. We'll come back with a score in round 2 right after this.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me. That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Our score is White Oak 16, Southwest 8. Let's meet some new players, and we'll start with those from White Oak.
John Lotzis, sophomore.
Brandon Barnett, freshman.
And from Southwest?
Marla Starling, freshman. Rachel Schoes, junior.
Kalijah Moore, senior.
Mackenzie Bowles, freshman.
Math toss-up, so again I'll read it twice for you. What is the mean of the following sequence of numbers? 150, 250, 300, 125, 420. What is the mean of the following sequence of numbers? 150, 250, 300, 125, 420. RJ?
229.
Incorrect. Kalijah?
249.
249 is correct. For your bonus, we want you to do some factoring. Factor each of the following, please. Number 1, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Number 2, a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Number 3, 9x squared minus 24x plus 16. Number 4, a squared minus b squared. Kalijah?
We have nothing.
Okay. White Oak?
For number 1, we have parenthesis a plus b parenthesis squared. And for number 4, we have parenthesis a plus b parenthesis a minus b parenthesis.
Number 4 is correct for 2 points. The others, number 1, a plus b times a plus b, or a plus b quantity squared. Number 2, a minus b times a minus b, or a minus b quantity squared. Number 3, 3x minus 4 quantity squared. Art toss-up. What is the term for a picture or pattern produced by arranging together small colored pieces of hard material? John?
Mosaic.
Correct. For your bonus, artists are often associated with a certain style or movement in art. Identify the movement with which each of the following artists is associated. Number 1, Paul Cézanne. Number 2, Eugene Delacroix. Number 3, Vincent van Gogh, or Van Gogh. And number 4, Salvador Dali. Okay, Anna?
For number 4, we have surrealism.
That's correct for 2 points. Southwest, 1, 2, or 3?
We have nothing.
Number 1, Impressionism for Paul Cézanne. For Delacroix, it's Romanticism, and Vincent van Gogh, Expressionism, Post-Impressionism, or Impressionism. People aren't too sure about him. Physics. What U.S. physicist measured the charge of an electron with his oil drop experiment? Rachel?
Rutherford.
Incorrect. White Oak? Robert Millikan. Baseball. What Washington national pitcher won the 2016 Cy Young Award? Brandon?
Max Scherzer.
Correct. For your bonus, who composed the music for each of the following ballets? Number 1, Swan Lake. Number 2, Fanfare for the Common Man. Number 3, Aaron Copland. I just gave you an answer for that one. I'm sorry, that was miswritten. Number 3, Coppelia, C-O-P-P-E-L-I-A. And number 4, the Firebird. So I just want answers for 1, 3, or 4, please. And Anna.
For number 1, we have Tchaikovsky.
That's correct for 2 points. 3 or 4, Southwest?
We have nothing.
Number 3 is Delibes, D-L-I-B-E-S. Number 4 is Stravinsky. Chemistry. What bond is formed by the sharing of a pair of electrons by 2 atoms? Rachel.
Ionic.
Incorrect. Southwest? Covalent. Geography. Iowa shares its borders with how many other states? Mackenzie?
7.
Incorrect. White Oak? John?
5.
You're both on either side of it. It's 6. Mythology. In Greek mythology, this king's punishment in Hades was to eternally roll a stone up a hill only to have it roll back down again. Name him. Mackenzie?
Enclatus.
Incorrect. White Oak? Sisyphus is the answer. That's the end of our second round. We'll come back with a lightning round in just a moment.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Our score is White Oak 28, Southwest 10, and we have one new player for the Southwest team.
April Gower, Jr.
Okay, players, we're going to name some famous people for this lightning round. They were all born or died in the month of September. Number 1, he was the captain victimized by the mutiny on the Bounty. Number 2, he's the composer of God Bless America and Annie Get Your Gun. This late jazz singer was nicknamed the Velvet Fog. His namesake chocolate company is near Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. John?
Hershey.
Correct. This founder of India's Missionaries of Charity was originally named Agnes. This man wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Mackenzie?
Roald Dahl.
Correct. Hitler's architect and minister of armaments. He founded the restaurant chain now known as KFC. Mackenzie?
Colonel Sanders.
Correct. He began America's first school for the deaf. This 1960s singer was famous for sitting on the dock of the bay? April.
Otis Redding.
Correct. This 15th century British king fought the Battle of Agincourt. This French general fought for the United States at Monmouth and Yorktown. Anna.
Lafayette.
Correct. This former president of Yale University was also the commissioner of baseball. This man was famous for his 12-tone style of classical music. This 1988 gold medalist female sprinter died of a sudden heart seizure. This doctor discovered the cause of yellow fever. This U.S. poet laureate wrote All the King's Men. This Czech won the 5K, 10K, and marathon at the 1952 Olympics. She was a famous dancer who died when her scarf got caught in her car wheel. And finally, this Louisiana governor was killed by Dr. Carl Weiss. Okay, these famous Americans were, for the Mutiny on the Bounty, William Bligh, God Bless America, Irving Berlin. Mel Torme was called the Velvet Fog. Mother Teresa was the founder of the Missionaries of Charity. Albert Speer was Hitler's architect and minister of armaments. Thomas Gallaudet founded America's first school for the deaf. Henry IV fought the Battle of Agincourt. A. Bartlett Giamatti was the commissioner of baseball for a short time. Arnold Schoenberg had the 12-tone style. Florence Griffith Joyner died of a heart seizure. Walter Reed discovered the cause of yellow fever. Robert Penn Warren wrote All the King's Men. Emil Zatopek won the marathon at the 52 Olympics. Isadora Duncan died in a very bizarre way. And Huey Long was the governor killed by Dr. Carl Weiss. We'll add in our lightning round points and come back with the final score in just a moment.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And we are here to congratulate Mr. Timothy Foster for receiving the Principal of the Year Award from Wells Fargo for 2018. Can you believe it? Tim Foster. Congratulations, Tim.
Appreciate it. We're proud of you for what you do with our children, and it's wonderful that you're able to mold these children over the years. I've always heard those great stories and the roads that you are going to take still in leading our young people is tremendous. So thank you, and congratulations again for this great honor.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I think the hats off is to the folks that are standing here, the marching stallions that come down the hallway playing the Imperial March from Star Wars. So they obviously know what I love and enjoy. So it's education's all about the kids and what you do for them. And I appreciate this recognition. It means a lot, and it means a lot to Southwest and the community here. So thank you again.
And our final score is White Oak 32, Southwest 16. High School Academic Derby has been brought to you by the Onslow County Schools. Our champion for this past year was Jacksonville. Thanks for watching this season, and we hope you will continue to enjoy the fine programs produced by our staff here at the studio. See you again next year with another edition of High School Academic Derby, and please stay with us for Elementary Derby and watch for Middle School Derby coming up after the new year.